Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. So today's video is going to be a part of Scrapbooking with Me Boutique's weekend challenge. It was the challenge for the first week of August, and it was this sketch here. So if you want to join along, you can pause here and get your items ready, and then you can come along with me. Up here in the upper left, I will have a link to the actual sketch, and then we'll go from there. Now, in a previous video, which I'll also link here, I did this ink, alcohol ink, I guess you would say kind of like design, using a 9x12 Yupo paper, and I wanted to kind of like distress the edge and then attach it to my marshmallow basil paper. And it was a good idea, but these little bits you see there, Yupo paper is basically like plastic, okay? So it doesn't distress like regular paper. So I kind of gave that up pretty quickly after trying to go through, because I don't want to mess up my distressor either. I wanted to kind of use some stamps that I showed you just a little while ago from Jen Shao, or Show. I'm not sure how she says her name, and I'm sorry if I butchered it. But you'll see as the sketch progresses, I kind of have to give it up, because part of the things that you have to realize with plastic is it's hard to stamp on them, and I didn't use the correct stamp ink. I should have used StazOn. StazOn will stamp onto plastic, acetate, things like that, and it'll be crisp and clear, and it dries and it won't smear. Whereas if you use hybrid inks like the one that I'm using, which is the Versaclear ink, it sat all day. I went back to it once the project was complete, and my thumb just grazed an area and it spread the ink, and it just, you'll see as we continue to go here, because this was my idea, because I knew instinctively that I wasn't going to be able to really stamp the way I wanted to on the paper, the Yupo paper. So that's why I was trying to create like sort of like a little edge of like scribblies. And this little test piece that I had, I was thinking, oh, I could use this little piece of alcohol ink on the bottom right. It would like tie in the sketch that we were looking at. Well, coming up soon, you're gonna see that I give up. I wind up smearing even on this right here, on the Yupo paper, and I call myself trying to like create where it would look like it was done on purpose, and nothing was really flowing right. I love how the purple and the alcohol inks turned out, but for whatever reason, it really wasn't clicking or meshing, however you want to describe it. So you can see here on the right side, I'm trying to figure out my little peekaboo piece so that way I can attach the other piece of alcohol ink that I wanted to put on the bottom right. And I'm going to get it on there, and then I'll be able to get it like kind of straightened up. It drives me nuts sometimes when I do that. It's like you can see it and you know what you're trying to do, and yet the execution isn't fully coming out the way you want. Because, you know, a lot of times when we do mixed media on our backgrounds, you know, it grows. You continue to grow and grow and grow. And with having to use the alcohol inks on the Yupo paper and then trying to figure out a way to attach it to this paper, you can see here, you see how I had the smudge up at the top because my hand hit it and it smeared. And I was like, okay, so now I gotta make this smear in other places so that way it would look like it was done on purpose and not an accident. And in looking at this, I realized, you know what? This is really making me mad. This isn't coming out the way that I want. Not at all. This is the photo that I'm going to wind up placing on there. And I decided, you know what? Let me mount the photo. Take a break from that. Because sometimes you have to separate yourself to let it kind of mull over in your brain. And then when you go back, you're able to reattack. So this is my official reattack, okay? I decided that I wanted to put it on its side. And instead of the Distress ink side going vertical, I decided to put it going horizontal. And then I decided to attach my photo right here. And that gave me enough space to put my sentiment, which will still be on the right hand side. And we can add elements to and around the photo. And I just thought this was a cool photo. I wound up getting this, I think, off of Pinterest. But it was so pretty, and I actually love cats. I had a cat. She passed away 2 years ago. But this one, I just loved how it looked like it was in the flowers and ready to be mischief, you know? So I decided to call this one Carefree, because cats are carefree, you know what I mean? They don't worry about nothing. All right, so I'm going to add elements from, I think this was from the Pink Fresh. I forget what the name of it was. Oh, I have it right here. It's the Indigo Hills 2. And I'm just using some of the flower elements. One of the, almost like a tag, it says magic and had a little bit of yellow. Because I do realize that with these particular elements, though there's a purple quality, is not the same color that I used on the background, or that is the flowers in with the cat. But I realized it all goes together, because it has that, it's just a more muted tone of that purple. And so I decided to add the sticker at the bottom right with the Carefree, and then I added the heart, and with the sentiments that I took that Carefree from, they have some of the flower, like puffy stickers. So I used the pink one right up above Carefree, and then the darker color flower I put at the top left of the photo. And I had a little smudges, so I just used my Tombow eraser to kind of blend it out. I wasn't too worried about it because I knew I was going to be splattering. Now, those round stickers I put right now, and then the one on the bottom right says taking my sweet time. And then on the photo I put the sticker that says risk taker. And the bottom right one underneath Carefree says, in the pursuit of all things happy. I just thought those went well with the idea of, you know, what it is to be a cat. So I was getting ready to put some of the swirlies back on this one, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna leave it, even though that is an element I liked from the sketch, is the dark circles that were going underneath the photo. I decided it was probably best to just leave it, and I think it was really the better way to go. Now next time, because I do plan on doing this again on another sketch, I'll remember I have to grab my stays on. Okay, so if you guys decide to do this and you want to use Yupo paper on your 12 by 12 layout, if you're going to stamp on it, make sure you get your stays on, because stays on has white ink, they have black ink, they got so many different colors inks, so you could do whatever kind of stamping you want it to, you know, if you get that stays on, so that way you know it's not going to bleed or move, you know, on that Yupo paper. So here are the close-ups of the final project. I really love how it turned out. It's so pretty. The colors speak to me. The technique, like I said, at the very beginning of the video, I will have links for the technique of making the background. I'll have that linked at the very end as well. It was just fun. And I'm sorry for all the ums, but I really did have a great time. So thank you guys for joining me. I will have the links to scrapbookingwithme.com and all of their social medias down below. And of course, if you go to the website, use my coupon code TT15 to get an additional 15% off. And I hope you guys have a great day.